Hi guys. So we are talking today about the books I've read and my plans for 2024. So what can I say? In terms of reading this month was okay. I've read several books, I believe, not counting with manga, because I've read not manga, volumes of manga. I've read 10, 11 volumes of manga of Btoom, Btoom. It's kind of game where survivors try to live in a game where they are trying to kill one another. Basically, a bit like what is it called? The Battle Royale kind of stuff. And it's a good thing, to be honest. I'm now on volume 11, as I said. Probably going to read more, a couple of volumes till the end of the year. We are now on the 28th. But since they are manga, I thought that I do this thing differently. In terms of other types of manga I read two, both of which, one of which I didn't enjoy at all, and thank God I didn't buy it, was Betwixt, an horror manga anthology. Four authors tried to do their thing in horror. I didn't enjoy it all. It's a mix of Western horror and Japanese horror. I didn't enjoy it. I also read Junji Ito, Cat's Diary, Yon and Mu, which is a short novel, like 120 pages. It's a pretty interesting story about Junji Ito, as you know, the writer of manga, which I greatly enjoy reading. But here he leaves the horror elements, some of them, and deals with more life living with a cat. It's very entertaining, to say the least. In terms of reading other stuff, that's not that's not manga. So what did I read and what I'm going to read? So let's start with the books that I read. I finished. This is a manga, but it's a very big manga. I enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy as much as other novels by him. It's Tommy by Junji Ito. Oh my god, it's so big. It's 900 pages and it's like 2 kilos book. It's very awkward to read. That's why it took me so much time to read it. It's very, very big. It's a story. They are all connected. They all focus on Tommy, the girl, and she basically is being killed over and over and over. And basically, it's a revenge story. So it's a bit boring to say that. I understand the plot. I understand the reason behind, and I even enjoyed some of the stories, but the vast majority felt the same thing over and over again. Then, a novel that I read was Creature by John Saul. This is a book, the first book I've read of John Saul. It's not horror, it's more a thriller. And John Saul will become, like other Tim Curran, Bentley Little, and among other writers that I'm going to read from time to time because I enjoy their books. So it's like, as I call them, palette cleansers, which I read usually in between other novels I'm currently reading that a bit slow or something like that. This is a thriller, so very good. Then I read Portuguese stuff, O Aventura nas Arábias. Now I'm done with this series for now, till they release a new one. I've got a couple of more to read, but so far that's what I have. Another novel I read was Van Hassel, Legion of the Damned. This is a military World War II kind of stuff. I think I've read this when I was a teenager in Portuguese, but I'm not sure. I believe so. The story was like the same. And we follow Sven and several of his pals throughout his tribulations in World War II. This one was the first one written by him. I've read several others. And this one, instead of focusing on one front, focused in general of his Sven Hassel own adventures. To be honest, I know that they are mostly fake news, fake stories. Not fake stories. Sven Hassel did existed, did indeed went to World War II, fighting by the Germans, but the remaining is a bit. I think that he grabs information from other people and wrote books from those stories, not from him himself. At least that's what historians says. Also, if a person is going to write a bibliographic kind of stuff, fictionalized but bibliographic, at least they pick correct names and so on. And that's, I think, how they found out that it was not true. But either way, it's good. It's very anti-war or pro-war. It depends on what you want to read. I enjoy it, to be honest. Happy to continue. Then I finished finally the second novel of Anne MacDonald Ravencry from Ravensmark series. This is the second book. There is one more to read, which I was going to read probably next month. I don't have it here, but yeah, next month. And I enjoy it. Anne MacDonald was... this story is very grim dark, to be honest. And I gave it 5 stars, so to be honest, that's pretty good. I believe it was one of the first 5 stars I gave this month. So that's it. You can check all of my reviews in Goodreads. I've already right there my thoughts on the series. And I'm lying because I gave 2 more 5 stars, which I didn't remember until I saw the book. The Raven Deep by Tim Pratt is a Lovecraftian novel. As you know, I've been reading these Lovecraftian novels. I've read almost all of them. They are like 16 or something like that, and I've read 12 or 11, I don't know. And this one was my favorite so far. So top hat to Tim Pratt and his story. At least that's probably maybe to Diane Stanley and Carl Sanford, 2 of my favorite characters, and Diana was one of my favorite when I played Warhammer. Arkham or Warhammer is another stuff. Sympathy for the Widow. This was incredible read. I was sick, so I went to the urgencies. I was there for 2 hours waiting to be consulted by a doctor, and I took this book and I read this book in 2 hours. It's 166 pages, and John Hatem writes books that I love. This is a revenge story, so perfect in every way. Other books that I finished: Devour by Kurt Anderson. It was an audiobook, so that's it. I started in November. I finished now, so that's it for me. I'm still reading 2 novels, which I think one of them, at least one of them, I'm going to finish now, and the other I think as well. First is this one, The School Media Murders by John Hatem. Interesting. I was again, because I have the flu. I had to go to the urgency to pick some to see the doctor, of course, and I took this book. This time I didn't finish the book in one go. It's 210 pages, and these last 2 or 3 days I could not read because I was too sick. I've got asthma, and and the flu was killing me. Flu A? How do you say in English? I don't know. Influenza A. Yeah, but I'm finishing this today. It's 60 pages to go, so I'm pretty sure I can finish this today. The second book I'm going to try to finish this month. Let's see. It's The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. I'm halfway gone, 200 pages more to go, and 4 days, who knows, probably 3, 28, 29, 30, 31, yeah, 3 days. The other one I'm going to keep reading, it's now 1 year, although I keep advancing a bit. It was Wheel of Time, the second novel, almost halfway gone. Let's see if I give up or not, because I'm not enjoying the tale. I don't think I'm enjoying high fantasy as I hoped I would. Which is a shame, because I've got a lot of those books in my shelves. I bought them and they are there to read, right? Enfin. So, what I'm going to read in next month? I'm going to be a bit different. My goal is going to be focus more on trilogies, series, and so on. So that's why I'm going to hope there to start. And so the first one series I'm going to start, not in any order. It's Brandon Sanderson, Skyward. I've read that this is a pretty easy book to read and 400 pages, so that's it. David Conyers, Cthulhu Reloaded. This is a trilogy. It's Lovecraftian stuff, so a sci-fi, an horror. The Ice Lion. So this is Caitlin O'Neill Gear. So this is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi novel as well. Here. And then I'm going to 2 more series. Beasts in Velvet, which I already started and read like 50 pages. And The Last Son of Dorm, the 10th book on the series. So these are my top priorities for this month. Then I've got a couple of others I'll line up to read afterwards. And they are more like series I'm going to continue. One of which is Road of the Patriarch by Ariella Salvatore. 3rd book on the finish this trilogy. Tanquil's Doom, another 3rd book of the series of Bone Reaper, a Tanquil and Bone Reaper. I'm going to finish this well. And finally, the 3rd novel, it's Ambassador Chronicles, the 2nd novel, Wurstenstedt, 200 pages, so that's easy to do. Sorry. Then I've got some other lineup to read. It will depend on my reading mood, but I'm not going to show you on camera, but basically they are the 2 remaining books of this novel, so 11 and the 12, to finish all of the series. Necropolis, which is the 2nd novel on Gaunt and Ghosts. Thunderhead, which is the 2nd novel on a trilogy, and I have the 4 remaining novels on the Lovecraftian Arkham horror stuff, and I've also to read Neil Asher, The Departure, which is sci-fi, and I bought a lot of these books now on a whim. Can't control myself, but this year is going to be different. I'm going to buy less novels. I'm pretty sure. Other books I'm going to read these next couple of months. The Goblets of Fire. I started when I went to read the 4 first novels. I started, but then I could not finish. So this time around I'm going to finish the novel. And finally, 2 more. One of these is The Stand. I already tried to read this book twice now. Both times I arrived at 150 pages, 200 pages mark, and I stopped. this month, this year, this is my goal. To read this monstrous book of 1,120 pages. So that's it from me. So 2 books to read this month to finish. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for next month. And my goal of the year is going to be 2 things. First, as I said, read more series. So less individual novels. But in between, I'm going to read the ones that I call the palate cleansers, the ones that I read as a palate cleanser, or going to read, like the Conan books, the ones published by Tor and so on. I'm going to eat the horror stuff that I usually enjoy, like Richard Layment or John Saul or Herbert or Bentley Little, Tim Curran, Louise L'Amour, which I've read 2 books for now and I enjoy both. And I don't see anything. And read more Warhammer stuff. Those are my goals. To be honest, I will try to read more than last 2 years. More pages, not books. Because sometimes books and pages, they mix. For example, just to give you why I think this is, and why I hate Goodreads. Last Goodreads in the 2022, I read 182 books. And now, in 2023, I read 150. So, give it or take, 151, 2, depends if I finish those 2. But in terms of pages, which is for me the most important one, the difference are barely 2,000 pages. Less, it's 150 pages. 1,500 pages. I read 44,000 in 2022 and 42,600 on 2023. So I believe that it makes more sense to make to read more pages than books, because I can read 10 John Atom books with 100 pages, or I can read this one with 100 pages. Is the same thing? No, it's not. In terms of pages, it's the same thing, but in terms of books, one I've read 11 books and one I've read 1. So, although I'm going to put something on Goodreads, I'm going to put 2 books per week, so 104 books. My goal is going to be in pages count. So I'm going to try to between 150 pages per day. So I will be happy if I read between those things. For this, I'm going to commit myself to read more and to lose less time on the internet, on playing games and so on. Let's see if I can do it. I would be happy to read 100 pages per day. That was my goal since I can remember. Before it was 50 pages, then I grew up and took 100 pages. Last year was the first one I did that. This one was again a success. So I am happy with reading 100 pages per day. My goal and my main goal is to buy less books. And I'm going to do it. I have no doubts about it. And so much that I'm putting like fixed income for books. I'm talking about 50 euros. And I've got to work with those. I don't know, 50 euros is the the right amount, because unfortunately you've got Black Library. But my goal is going to be buy less books, focus more on books that I've already owned, like again, more Black Library stuff and other novels that some guys I'm following or something like that. But my goal is to diminish a lot on the books I buy. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you, and I hope to have a happy new year to anyone that's watching this. Thank you.